When most people mention the town of Hood River, Oregon, thoughts of mountain biking and surfing the gorge are often the first things brought to mind. And yes, it's true. Hood River has just about everything to meet the needs of any outdoor enthusiast. But this little town, just 60 short miles east of Portland, is all that and much more. Most well known for being the windsurfing capital of the world, Hood River has long been home to some of the most luscious pear and apple orchards in the world, not to mention all the wineries and vineyards scattered throughout the valley. But now, after a long day of surfing or wine tasting, maybe you're ready to just relax and enjoy the views. Well, probably the best kept secret in town is the Mount Hood Railroad. First built back in 1906, the line ran to the small town of D. In 1909, it was extended to end at the historic town of Parkdale. In the late 1960s, Union Pacific purchased the line, and it was primarily used to transport fruit and lumber. As trucks began replacing rail cars, thoughts of abandoning the line were considered.
Well, what happened was Union Pacific wanted to rip up all the tracks and salvage the steel, but a bunch of local businessmen decided that that wasn't a great idea, that they still needed to use it for a freight line and for passenger cars. So a bunch of local businessmen actually bought out the tracks and made it into the Mount Hood Railroad.
Today, the train begins its annual run in early April and continues through December. There are several different dates and times offered, but reserve your spot quickly. Space fills up fast on this train. The railroad also hosts several special events and rides throughout the year for passengers of all ages. Perhaps the most popular of these are the brunch and dinner trains. As waitstaff supervisor, Melissa Irish talks about just what makes this ride so special.
The best part about the train is it changes every night. Every day you meet someone new. People are so polite and generous.
Passengers will dine on a gourmet 4-course meal while enjoying the views from the large windows in each of the restored rail cars. All meals are prepared fresh right on board, and the menu has something to suit every palate.
We have prime rib and seafood fettuccine, salmon, stuffed chicken. All our waitstaff are extremely polite and very attentive.
As delicious as the meal is, the real stars of this 4-hour train ride are the spectacular views. Our trek follows the historic rail line over bridges and through luscious forest land while passing by countless orchards. And at the end of the journey is the small town of Parkdale, nestled in the shadows of snow-capped Mount Hood. As the train stops to prepare for its return, passengers are encouraged to step out and take in the scenery.
Parkdale is a very small town. It's really quaint. It's actually where I grew up when I was a kid.
This small town, born from the needs of a growing railroad, now serves as a relaxing hangout for weary skiers and is our last stop before the train heads back to the station. And after one more quick glance at beautiful Mount Hood, it's time for the trip home. After a little dessert or enjoying some live dinner theater, passengers are encouraged to walk the train or watch the sunset from the windows of a vintage lounge car. As our journey ends and the station comes into view, all its guests have one thing in common. This is one ride they don't want to end.